Alright, here's one I'm kind of excited to bring you. It is Unique Toys SALMOORE, aka Bike Murder, aka Psykill, whatever you want to call him. His name is officially SALMOORE from Unique Toys. And I gotta say, right off the bat, much like I have said in many of my previous Unique Toys reviews, these guys are very much dedicated to their quality and improving it with every figure they release. And this is no exception. Like, from Warhawk to now, every single release they have put out, I feel they have really kind of upped their game a little bit. Sometimes in huge jumps, sometimes in just small little things. But just as a culmination so far of everything they've done, SALMOORE is a really nicely designed figure and very well put together. There's a couple of minor issues that you might hit transformation-wise, and there may just be issues that I have because this came as is with no instructions or packaging. So the one issue I had with some of the clearances here may be totally clarified in the instructions, and just because I didn't have them is why I had it. But I'm going to point it out, and just so you know how to do it properly, just in case the instructions don't cover it. But all in all, like I said, it's clearly modeled after Psykill. He does have these kind of spiky wheel covers, and they are spiky. They're kind of a smoky, translucent plastic, and these spikes are, ow, I almost kind of poked myself there, very sharp. You can hurt somebody with these things, so maybe if you want to keep this around small children, don't use the wheel covers on it if you have small kids in your house, because like you said, they are very pointy and definitely something you want to handle carefully. You don't just want to throw them around willy-nilly because these spikes are very, very pointy. I think I made my point. Haha, no pun intended. I swear to God, I did not intend to, whatever. Anyway, moving on. So they're these smoky, translucent plastic. Personally, I don't care for them just because I'm a big fan of... Like, I liked the GoBots when I was growing up. I always loved Psykill. He was always one of my favorites, just design-wise. And this guy really kind of hits a lot of those little nostalgia bones that get me ramped up for good figures. And the fact that he's fairly well made is nice too. So these and they can come off. You can leave the tires on without having to use these shields. They're entirely optional. Like, they don't store anywhere in vehicle mode that I found. So like, they're entirely up to you whether you want to use them. They do give him kind of more of a gladiator look, but I really do like the classic Psykill look with just the rubber tires. And they are rubber tires. That's one of the cool things about it. They're really nicely. They got some nice detail on them for the treads. They kind of have a little squish to them. Like, not enough to, like, it's not like super squishy, but they've just got a little bit of give to them like a real tire does, which is nice. And you can see they are just a nice rubber tire, and it's good solid rubber on the wheelbase here. Now, when they're attached to the arm, the way they sit, a lot of times it will end up touching the arm a little bit, which kind of limits their mobility. But you can see they do spin along these little chrome wheels here. They spin really well. Really, really nice movement on there, and again, they're just nice tires. And it's a weird thing to kind of stop and focus on, but they're really well done. Now, these blasters form his mufflers in vehicle mode, and because they're chromed, some of the tolerances are a little off. Like this one specifically, this one or this one? One of these specifically has a hard time. It's this one. Got to really kind of push it closed, and it likes to get stuck opening up. It takes a little bit of force. Just again, that's one of those things that happens with chrome. Outside of that, and that's not something that's going to affect every single one of them. Good solid chrome pieces. Usually I'm a little iffy on chrome, and these still have that it's chromed plastic feel, but it seems much solider than some of the chrome pieces I felt on other toys recently. Like the crank and stacks, or the Huffer and pipes. They had chrome pieces that felt like, the kind of cheapy chrome pieces that you get. And these feel much more solid than I'm used to feeling chrome feel on things lately. So yeah, there are those, and again, you can leave them like this. This is their standard gun configuration. If you want to extend the barrel out a little bit, you can. If you want to collapse them down to their muffler position and extend the barrel out even further, you can have them more like a rifle versus the standard pistol. It kind of looks like a noisy cricket, I guess. And then there's like the standard muffler shape right there, and we'll get to that when we get to bike mode. But they're some neat little weapons. Again, non-canon Psykill. The old toys never came with any weapons, but just give them some guns. Now here's the base bot that I love so much, and a really nice update to Psykill. It's very solid. Like I said, they really up their quality. Everything is tight. None of the joints are floppy or loose. It's very well put together. and he's got a waist swivel. He's got his head is technically on a ball joint up there, but because of the way his head fits around the ball joint, that doesn't give you a lot of motion. But he is also on a hinge for transformation, so it does give you a lot more options for posing it, despite getting true ball joint function on the very end of it. The shoulders are on dual swivels. There's a bicep swivel, dual hinge elbows, although again mostly for transformation, but there are 2 hinges there you can take advantage of. A wrist swivel, waist swivel, dual swivel hips. He's got a thigh swivel, hinge knees, and the feet are on ball joints. Just due to some of the other stuff around them, they're a little limited, but you can see, you can kind of pull this down. This is on a ball joint. You can get some more posability out of both feet, actually the way that it works here. So yeah, pretty cool. Excuse me. And again, the chrome engine in the back, it kind of fills in the back, and there's just a rear view. The head sculpt is actually a really nice, updated cycle. It looks slightly menacing. This angle's not really doing it. He's good. He's got a slightly menacing expression. Not super. He's not like super squinty or growly or anything, but he just kind of looks like maybe you wouldn't want to mess with him. So yeah. And to transform him, you do still have to, just like on the original, parts form the wheels off. I know, but honestly, I'd be more upset about that if that wasn't exactly what you did on the old toy, which is one of the things I loved about it, so whatever. The transformation itself, it starts off, you want to come back here and you want to flip these out. Just like this. And then fold his head into his body. Now here's one of the areas I was talking about having a conflict. Actually, let me fold his fists in. You need to fold those fists in first. So just pop this panel down, rotate the fist up and in, and close that back up. Pop the gray panel down, close it back up. So these arms come back around and they fit into here. And when you're going back, the first arm goes in no problem because you come around here and then you just kind of fold the arm in like that. And then once you get it past here, because you can see this arm now blocks it from going out, you don't force this going to robot mode. And I'll show you how to do that on the way back. But you lift this up, you kind of have to lift it up on this swivel joint to give it the clearance to fit in, and then work it around the other arm. And once you've got them both in there, then you can peg the arms together. And they don't actually fold up into here. You actually take them forward like this and down onto the robot body like that. And you can go ahead and flip this kickstand thingy down too. But so they kind of fold up over where the robot head was. And then the rest of the transformation, you bring this down, rotate it so, bring it down with the robot torso facing down. Rotate it so the piece with the light comes up on top, and the piece down here comes down below. And then this side of the waist, just the side of the waist on the seat side, folds up like that to give you a little bit more clearance. And we'll get to that side in a minute. So this light comes up, you bring it up and over, and then this piece detaches from the knee, comes up. I'm going to flip the bike handles out. They do like to pop off. They're on just these tiny little ball joints up here. So flip these out. And you'll see this one has the same handlebar. This won't happen on the production version, but it's 2 of the same handbar. You can tell because the handbrakes are on opposite sides, and they should be on the same side when facing forward. And this comes down, rotates around, sits like this, flip the headlight down, and then you bring this up. There's a couple tabs here on the side of the light that plug into the front brace here. Just like that. And you want to bring it down so it all sits kind of up against the body of the bike here. And then this whole piece comes up. Actually, you need to rotate this around like this. So that there's a hollow divot here. You want to make sure that ends up facing the back, because this is going to fold up. And you're going to see this joint is going to come up through this hole here for clearance. Like that. And then you fold this down. And if this doesn't fit, then you've got the arms in the wrong position. You just kind of lift the arms up. Basically, you just line it up so that these posts on the front part of the bike peg into the peg holes here on the upper arms. So it's just a matter of positioning it so that happens. If you push these down too flat, they won't do it. So you get that lined up so those peg in just like that. And then you bring the arms down against the body. And once you've done that, there you've got the front body of the motorcycle just like that. You can see there's a strut. Flip this little wheel cover up. And there you go. Then this piece comes down around like this. And then you're going to bring, the foot comes down, flips over, and you can see and forms the seat of the bike. And then you lift this up, pull this up. Again, make sure that this hollow point is facing back. And you just, oh, there's a little piece right here that flips down too, to fill in the gap here. I guess it just pulls out a little bit. But then this, the bike comes, yeah, see it fills in that gap right there. And then the seat comes up and pegs right there into the back of that. And it's pretty obvious from there where you're going, because there's basically the motorcycle minus the wheels. And then you just take the wheels and you just kind of fit them in and peg them into the struts here on the front. Ah, come here. There we go. And same on the back. I haven't noticed any difference in the wheels, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about which one's the front wheel and which one's the back. You just plug them in. And you just kind of move everything so there's a clearance. This one has, there you go. Once you get it sitting right, the wheels will spin freely. And there's motorcycle mode just like that. Also, but actually that's not quite motorcycle mode. So you take his rifles here, and each one has a peg on the side of it. So over here, it's going to shorten this a little bit. It pegs right in here to the wheel, on the outside of the wheel. And then this extends to plug in right up here to connect the exhaust onto the bike, just like that. And that will also help hold this wheel in a position where it, if you have this fully extended, it'll hold the wheel in a position where it rolls freely. If you have everything lined up right. There's the handles. Yeah, come here. And same on the other side with the other exhaust piece. Just like that. And there you go. There's Salmoore in bike mode. And it's a cool little motorcycle. It's not quite the same motorcycle as Cycle, but a nice representation. It doesn't have the windscreen. I mean, if you remember, the original Cycle didn't have it, although this was his head on the original toy. And it fits a lot of figures. They showed some pictures of like Revoltech Woody sitting on it, and one of the new Ninja Turtle figures sitting on it. I had one of the arms change Gimes sitting on it earlier today. It's a nice little motorcycle that will probably fit a lot of your action figures if you want to have them riding it. Maybe not the full 1/6 scale figures unless they're sitting really low, but yeah, it's a nice little bike that'll work with a lot of the stuff you've already got. So yeah, pretty cool. And then transforming back, I'll do a transform back just to show you how those arms work. You flip these out like that. Extend these back, and like I said, the tough one can be a little pain in the butt. That actually worked okay that time. And then you flip the handles out. Set those off to the side. And the transformation is pretty much the same thing in reverse. Just unpeg this right here, or unpeg the wheels first, pop them off. Come on, you. There we go. So unpeg those. Unpeg this from up here. Pop the handlebar back on. And then unpeg this, bring it down. Fold this piece back in there. Bring this up. Fold this up, and then again, these pieces kind of snap onto the knee hinge there. But fold that up, and then flip this up and rotate it. And then this part of the seat becomes the heel, and that becomes the toe of one leg. And then unpeg this, bring it down. Now what I do here is I will bring this down, I'll pull the waist down, rotate it forward. And when you're transforming the legs, like I said, there's the hollow part that the pieces sit in when you transform it. And you want to make sure everything lines up so that hollow part ends up on the back of the leg. That's how the legs match up. And you also got to make sure that like the hips are in the right place because you're trying to twist them for transformation. So make sure the hips allow the leg to come all the way down. And then make sure that this piece is sitting on the front of the leg with the hollow piece on the back. And in the case of this leg, you just got to rotate this around to bring the foot to the proper side. Everything's pretty self-explanatory once you've got it in hand, but I just want to make sure you know how everything goes. And then this piece comes up, and these struts snip onto this knee piece. And this piece, you come around, you rotate it up. Well, get under there and flip the light up. Fold it up into foot position, and then the handlebars here, you kind of fold down and rotate inside the cover here. You can leave them on the outside too, but it looks a little bit more streamlined if you fold them up inside the foot. Then up here on the upper body, and this is where I was talking about, this is where you hit the clearance issue, because if you just lift this up and try to pull these arms out, they click, and the arm hits this gold piece, which is supposed to fold in, and you could very easily break it if you try to force it. When you bring the arms down, take one at a time, bring it down as much as you can like this, and that will give you the clearance to lift it up on this hinge right here, and then get it up over that, just like that. One arm at a time, bring it all the way down, lift it up, and bring it out. Because if you try to force it, you will end up shattering these chrome pieces one way or the other, forcing it. Because it requires almost no force at all if you do it properly. So make sure you do it like that. Flip the head up, fold these into the back. You can leave them sticking back if you want. I find folding them in just kind of fills in the body a little bit. Fold this little kickstand back under his arm. Flip the fists out. Yeah, there we go. Plug the wheels onto his shoulders. Just like that. Plug the rifles into his hands if you choose. See, personally, if he'd had no weapons, I would have been happy with just this. This is a really nice cycle on its own. But he has two rifles. And then, again, if you choose to use the shoulder armor, it just pegs onto the outer peg here. Just a peg hole right in the middle. And there is Unique Toys SALMOORE, all back in robot mode. I don't know if this is a must-have for everybody's collection. If you were into the GoBots back in the day, and a lot of us who grew up with them were, even if we don't want to admit it, we watched both. Some of us didn't. Or if you're just a really big fan of the Psykill character, and like I said, I'm a fan of both. I watched the GoBots cartoon. I absolutely love Psykill's design. Then you're probably going to want to pick this up. I know it's a little costly, but like this is probably like regardless of character choice and whether you have an attachment to some of the other characters they've done, from a sheer engineering and assembly standpoint, this is probably the highest quality figure that Unique Toys has put out so far. Which makes sense because, like I said, they have continually improved their process with each figure, and they've learned and improved with each figure they released. And this one continues to be better than the previous ones. And then I thought Sound Blaster or their Sound Mixer or whatever they called their blaster was pretty good. This guy tops it. This guy's he's really well built. He's really well put together. And as long as you're careful about pulling those arms out, you shouldn't have any problems with him. He's a really solid figure and a really nice homage to the leader of the Renegades here. And there it is, Unique Toys SALMOORE. Alright, also just a quick addendum. I meant to mention it. The first time I shot this video, I remembered it, and I forgot this time. This very one is actually, as much as I hate to send him away, because he's really nice, this one is going straight into a box and on its way to Pasadena, where it will be on display at the TF Source booth. So if you've been interested in this and you want to kind of see it in person, this very same figure that I'm touching right now will be on display at the TF Source booth this weekend at BotCon. So if you're heading to BotCon, swing by the table and check it out if you want to get a closer look at him, because it really is a nice figure.